initial reaction with seeing the gospel this morning was like, hey, it was just a month or two ago that, I devoted an entire homily on this of Martha and Mary and Martha being burdened. And it was in the series of being out of balance. And so I was like, initial reaction is just right away going to the first reading. And the Lord just like, Mark, like, you need this, I need this. And so if I need this, maybe some here this morning need this. So it was to the first reading, because it's so easy for me to get out of balance. It's so easy to get anxious, to get worried with the number of things and responsibilities of things floating around. There's just a lot of stuff, like and this is that for all of us, and it's easy to get out of balance. And I heard someone, I can't remember where it was, of someone saying what Martha should have done is she should have threw like an egg bake or a casserole in the oven and let Jesus have that. Is what she should have done, and spend time with him. But she just wanted everything just to be perfect and top notch, and the casserole wouldn't do. And I think sometimes, like, wanting things, a certain level and being perfect, it can cause you to lose peace. Where a lot of times, like, the Lord's inviting us always, like, St. Francis of Assisi today, of his humility, his taking the low spot, our opening prayer, St. Francis, who was conformed to Christ in his poverty and humility, of accepting our limitations. And in accepting our limitations, can help us stay in peace. The peace of Jesus. And so you just hear, right, Martha, Martha, there's that tenderness that he has towards Martha of, like, you got to listen here. You are anxious and worried about many things. There is need for only one thing. The soul is healed through union with God. Period. There is need for only one thing, Martha. Like, nothing else. So I think it was in that homily, right, a couple months ago, I cited statistics of the number of vacations that are going up, like, right out of COVID, and, that thought of, man, I need a vacation. And then you get back and it's like, oh, like, I'm right back there again of thinking that I need another vacation. And that is, like, the Christian tradition, the way, like, we would understand it is that rest is not something that one goes and tries to get and obtain. Now, there's a level of that, like, you need to take time to get rest. But what's more so is, like, the deep of abiding rest that one can have, that the saints had in the midst of doing tons of things, is that the thought that rest is something that's imparted to us by the divine. And so that deep level of peace is something that's imparted to us by the Creator. So maybe just for us to ask ourselves the question today in prayer, Jesus, like, how am I doing? How's my balance? How's my balance of late? Where have I fallen out of balance some? If I have, identify those things. Help me, Lord, to be ever more convict of your words in the gospel today. Your very word, Jesus, is there is need for only one thing, and it's him. And so let us, as we do, as humans, we have a tendency to get out of balance. And at the end of the day, the soul is healed through union with him, and that rest is something that authentic, deep, lasting rest, not the rest that comes and goes by the number of sleep you get or how much time you have just chilling out. The deep, lasting, abiding rest is something that's imparted to us by the Creator.